my channel. So today I have a foundation review for you guys. It is going to be on the new Makeup Forever H Ultra HD actually foundation. If you guys have seen my past two videos, I have been using this foundation. I was invited to go to the Makeup Forever launch of the Ultra HD foundations in Toronto a couple weeks ago, and I've been using them ever since because I really wanted to test them just to see, you know, pretty much I didn't want to do a first impression like I do sometimes with foundations, but I think that the best way to do it is just to test it out with different primers, different circumstances, different temperature, and see exactly what it does. Bear in mind that I am normal to oily skin, so I do have combination normal to oily skin. So but I will be talking about other skin types as well. I'm not sure if I ever shared it here on my channel, but I am actually a skincare specialist. I am used to dealing with many different skin types. So in makeup, I find that I'm more able to pinpoint skin types and foundation types to suit different skin types more because I'm used to that. So I definitely can speak on that as well. Let's get started by what they actually say the foundation is supposed to do. So on the Sephora website, it says that it is it says developed specifically for the film and TV industry's most advanced technology. Ultra HD liquid foundation creates a natural, flawless complexion on and off camera. It's completely invisible under the latest super focused 4K lens. This revolutionary foundation features uniquely coated pigments that provide medium coverage with a lightweight texture that looks just like skin. It says it's long lasting with a naturally looking finish. And it is formulated with hyaluronic spheres for time released hydration that ensures comfortable wear on all skin types. It's available now in an expanded range of 40 shades to match all skin tones, pretty much. So this foundation is obviously a follow-up to Makeup Forever's old HD foundation, which I've been a huge fan of for many years, and I think a lot of people are huge fan of this foundation because it's one of those foundations that just pretty much revolutionized the whole camera, HD, looking flawless on camera and all that good stuff. And for them to redo this foundation, I was really, really excited. When Makeup Forever said that they are going to reformulate a product, I mean, you open your eyes and you keep your eyes peeled and you wonder what they're going to come up with next. It's that brand to me that creates products for honestly everyone. So if you are the everyday woman, you can use their products. If you are a advanced professional makeup artist, the products are usable. So their products are not gimmicky. Their products are definitely one of those things that it works, and it works very, very, very well. Case in point, their primers as well as their eyeshadows, which you guys know that I'm a huge fan of. So I had huge expectations in mind for this foundation. Not only that, I do have a couple foundations in mind that is just everything to me right now that I am hoping, or I was hoping this foundation would give me all those things that I love in those foundations and more, because that's what I expect from Makeup Forever. The old formula is one that I use on myself, and it's one that I actually use in my makeup kit because it's a foundation that I think works for all skin types, to be honest. And I've seen people with dry skin love this foundation. I've seen people with oily skin love this foundation. It has great coverage, it looks flawless, and it doesn't make you oily. So once again, of course, when I heard that they were going to do the formula, I had some things in mind that I am hoping that the foundation would do. I haven't used the old formula in a few months, once again, because I do have a couple or other foundations that I do have in my collection that I've been loving. One of the most important key features of those foundations, and where I see the technology of foundations are moving, is that it provides you with more raw pigments. Cover FX Custom Cover Drops has a foundation that is pretty much pure pigment that you mix with any moisturizer or primer of your choice, and it sits well on the skin. Pure pigment, so it's giving you the coverage and it's giving you the flexibility to use it with any primer that you have. So that is literally something that can suit all skin types. It's not my favorite foundation, but when you are talking about another foundation like the NARS All Day Luminous Weightless Foundation, that is a foundation that also is giving you a very lightweight formula, but it sets on the skin. It gives you very long wear. It looks natural, and it's giving you a lot of pure pigments in it, so you don't have to use as much product, but you're still getting coverage that you can also build up. Thirdly, we are talking now about the MAC the MAC Pro Longwear All Day Nourishing Waterproof Foundation, which is one of those foundations that absolutely looks flawless on the skin. It smooths the skin. It gives you great coverage but doesn't look cakey. It doesn't settle into fine lines. The foundation doesn't break up. Not sure if it's the best foundation for all skin types, but it definitely works great for my normal to oily skin type. So now comes this foundation, and the Makeup Forever foundation. I find number one thing that I notice with this foundation is that it doesn't give you as much coverage as the old formula. It's a little lighter, and I noticed that it wasn't building up much to cover the pigmentation on my forehead, which you guys are gonna see in the demo. It looks beautiful on the skin. This is a foundation that, because I'm so used to having set-in foundation, this is a foundation that I find I can actually buff into the skin, and it builds coverage, and wherever I need more coverage I can always stipple. I just find that it takes too much product to to keep applying and applying and applying in order for it to cover the areas that I want it to cover. What it says here is that the foundation is formulated with hyaluronic spheres in it. This hyaluronic acid is something that is naturally found in the body. You can also take it in pill forms as well, and it is also something that is synthetically made in labs. You can take it and it helps with joint pain. It's actually quite amazing in skincare because hyaluronic acid can hold 1,000 times its weight in moisture. So if you have dry skin or if you have dehydrated skin, this is an ingredient that you do want to include in your skincare because it helps to nourish and hydrate the skin. So the fact that they put it in the foundation is great for people with more drier skin. And I guess I'll save that for later, but that's definitely a key part of it that I find is going to separate it and make it work better for a certain skin type than it would for another, which is totally different from the old formula based on my experience with it. I think that if you're normal to dry skin, you are going to love this foundation. And I find that the coverage won't be a problem because people that has normal to, drier skin, they don't really break out as much as people with more oilier skin, so you'd find those skin types don't need as much coverage. The other thing is that because the foundation doesn't set, if you do have oilier skin, you are going to need to powder this foundation down. When I went to the event, the Makeup Forever they did a demo, and the Makeup artist used the Makeup Forever HD powder to set the foundation, and he used sort of like a pat and motion to do it. So if you are on the oily side, you are going to need to set this foundation, and unfortunately, because the foundation doesn't set on the skin, it can move around when you are powdering it or when you are contouring and doing all that extra stuff that we love to do right now for our, to chisel our cheekbones and give us a nice definition on the face. So that is the only thing I would definitely say is a miss for me, is the fact that it doesn't it doesn't lock into the skin as much as I would like it to. I did experiment with this foundation a bit over the past 2 weeks since I've had it. I've used it with by the way, use only the Makeup Forever primers. I have for at least probably 3 years now. The HD one is the one that I love, and I probably have a couple more uses out of this one before I run out, but I absolutely love this primer. And this one to me gives me a natural finish to the foundation. It doesn't extend the life of it, and it really gives me a true wear test with the foundation. So what I find is that when I set it and I wear and I use that primer, I would say within 4 hours. And remember guys, we are in summer right now, so of course it's very hot, it's humid, and for a foundation to last for 4 hours without having to touch up is absolutely amazing. I wouldn't say it's like a 16-hour or 24-hour wear. Absolutely not. It doesn't do that at all. But I find that it does give you a nice wear before you need to touch up. So yeah, that with this is about 4 hours for me. With this guy right here, which I've been raving about, the Makeup Forever Smoothing Primer, this stuff gives me the longest wear with this foundation. I mean, I can't even use this primer with many long wear foundation because I find that it's too mattifying. So it works amazingly, these two together, because this is giving me a nice smooth texture. And it doesn't allow my oils to come out as quickly, so I can go a good 6 hours wearing this without getting oily. And I actually did that, I think, last Sunday, and I did take a couple pictures for you guys because I also got caught in the rain wearing these two together. And I mean, it was such a humid day. It's so humid that it poured for literally 15 minutes, the hardest downpour I've ever seen in a very long time, and it only lasted for 15 minutes, but only because it was so humid, it was so hot, and I was wearing that foundation with that primer, and my skin looked flawless. Like, it's one of those things that you're driving and you're looking at your skin and you're like, wow, I love the way I look right now. I find that these two together work very, very well. Now, I know that Makeup Forever also have a mattifying primer, and I have the old mattifying version of the primer, which I've not tried with this foundation, but I think that if you do have oilier skin and you do want to try this foundation, I would say test it out with different primers and see exactly how it works. As far as application, I do prefer to use a kabuki brush. It's always been my preference for a foundation, and for one, it's the thing that I find I can have more control over how I apply a foundation. With a beauty blender, you can only stipple. With a kabuki brush, I find that you can buff and stipple if you want, and you can also smooth over areas that look streaky. So I do prefer using it with a kabuki. As far as how the foundation looks on camera, I don't have 4K camera. I don't have anything that is 4K to test how this foundation looks. The great thing about it, and one of my pet peeves with foundation, is the fact that if it settles into my fine lines, especially around my mouth area and on my forehead. And I find that this foundation doesn't do that. It doesn't settle into my fine lines. But from eye to eye, I can see that I'm wearing foundation, and I can see my blemishes through my foundation. It's the fact that it looks like skin is not a big deal to me personally, because once again, I don't mind having airbrush looking skin at all. I don't mind having a foundation that's going to give me a airbrush look without looking like I'm cake face, if you know what I mean. It also came out with a stick version of as well. This one I picked up in the shade 180, which is R530, as a contour. And to be honest, this is the one that I was most surprised with. I thought this one was gonna be creamier and more slippery on the skin, but this actually is a beautiful, beautiful foundation to be used for contouring. I can't vouch for how it looks all over the skin, but when I put the contour on, it settles down and looks like skin. It doesn't have a matte texture, and it doesn't have a oily film to it, which is pretty much what I've experienced with, like, I guess a lot of the contouring products that I have in my collection. This definitely doesn't do that. So when I do go over with powder, the foundation doesn't grab onto the powder and make it darker, which is the issue that you're gonna have when you're doing cream contouring. Once you put a powder over those areas, it just gets darker. I find that with this, it doesn't do that. Like, I'm able to buff product over it without, one, it moving, and two, it getting dark and patchy. I kind of want to try it all over the skin to see what it is like, but this is supposed to be a medium to full coverage foundation. If you try the liquid and it's a little too lightweight for you, you want more coverage, I would definitely say try the stick. I don't hear too many people talking about the stick, but I've surprisingly fallen for the stick version, and I feel like I need more colors of this just to have in my collection for everyone, because I absolutely love the color, the way it blends, and the way it just makes my contour look. So this to me is the guy that it's different and I like it a lot. I'm still on the fence with this foundation. I don't know if it's one that I'm gonna be reaching for right now because of the fact that we are in summer, and I'm just gonna be worried. You know, in my mind, I feel like I'm always gonna have to be looking at my foundation just to make sure that I'm not oily, if you know what I mean. So I think that I would get more use out of this come fall, winter. I think this will, you know, sit much better on my skin and not make me worry about my foundation, because as I stated in the beginning, I like when I put my makeup on, I leave it, I don't have to worry about it, and I don't have to touch up. And when I have a high maintenance product like this for my skin type, it's just naturally I'm not gonna reach for it as much. But come winter, where I'm probably going to be dehydrated, this is going to come in very handy for me. So I definitely say that it hasn't replaced my favorites, but I am still working with it, and I will definitely be using it more when it's going to be more suited for my skin type. But I would say though, if you have dry skin, I mean, try this foundation out. I think I definitely think I'm so excited to see someone with dry skin use this, because I just think that it's just gonna look absolutely amazing on someone with more drier skin. did enjoy it. I hope you took something away from it, but leave your comments down below and let me know if you did pick up this foundation, if you are thinking about picking it up, or if you have any questions for me that I may not have addressed in this review. Leave your comments down below and let me know, and I will see you guys in my next video.